Hi everyone, it's Jacqueline with Life Simplified, and today we're going to be making chicken tenders and chicken nuggets. This is a really healthy twist on a food that's typically really bad for you. So let's take a look at what we're going to be using today. We are going to be using ground whole oats. Now what I did was I just took oatmeal and I put it into one of those magic bullets, or you can use a food processor, anything you have that can grind up those oats, and I turned it into a flour. So that's the first thing that we have. Then we have 1 egg that's been slightly beaten. I'm going to be using Italian seasoning today, paprika, salt, pepper, and of course our chicken. Now you can add any seasoning that you want, and we'll talk more about that as we go along. So the first thing you're going to do after you've ground your oatmeal is you're just going to add in your spices. So like I said, we're going to be using some Italian seasoning today, some paprika, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. This recipe is very hands-on, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get in there with my hands, mix it all around. And then what you're gonna want to do to make sure that your coating has enough flavor is just kind of taste it as you go. If it has a taste to you and you like it, move on. If not, add a little bit more of maybe salt, a little bit more of the Italian seasoning. You can add red pepper flakes, cayenne pepper, anything you want to flavor up your oatmeal. So the next thing we're gonna do after we have our oatmeal seasoned is we are going to move on to our chicken. Now I'm just using chicken tenderloins because they're already the perfect size for making chicken tenders. But you can take a chicken breast, cut it in half, and make them the size that you want. So what you're gonna do is take your chicken. I like to have 1 dry hand and 1 wet hand. So I'm gonna use my right hand, dip it into the egg wash, get it really well coated. Then I'm gonna take it, put it into the oatmeal, use my dry hand, coat the chicken and kind of pat it down so it gets a really nice coating on it. Flip it over, make sure it's covered all the way. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and dip it back into the egg wash and give it 2 coats of the oatmeal. But you don't have to, 1 coat is enough. And what you can also do is you can salt and pepper the chicken before you put it into the egg wash, just for a little extra flavor. Again, with the dry hand, I'm gonna go ahead and pat down my oatmeal. Set this aside. So this is an example of the chicken tender. Now what I've done already is I have chopped up one of the chicken tenders into just little bite-sized pieces, and these are great for kids. It's a really healthy alternative to stopping by the fast food place. You can just make these at home, have them in the fridge, freeze them ahead of time, and just heat them up when you're ready. So we're just gonna take the cube and same thing. Go ahead and dip it into the egg wash with your wet hand. Drop it into the dry mix with your dry hand, coat it, and then you're going to continue that process until all of your chicken is coated in your oatmeal. And then we're going to move over to the stove and cook them. Okay, so now we're going to cook our chicken. What you're going to do is you want to set your skillet to a medium heat. I'm going to add about a ½ tablespoon of olive oil. You don't have to use any olive oil if you don't want to, or you can use a little bit more. You're gonna heat up that olive oil. An alternative would be just cooking spray. You're gonna let the olive oil heat up really nice. You're gonna take your chicken tender, place it in, and I'm gonna do a little of the chicken nuggets as well. And for the chicken tender, you're gonna let it cook on each side about 2 minutes. And with the chicken nuggets, because they're so small, really they need maybe like a minute on each side and they're good to go. And something that I like to do to just cut down on fat is if I do use a little bit of olive oil in the pan, I then go ahead and spray the rest and the top of the chicken with cooking spray. That'll keep it from drying out. It gives it a little extra moisture. So now that they've been cooking for a couple minutes, we're gonna go ahead and flip them over. I like to give the pan a little bit of a shake just to mix up the oil that is still in there. Okay, so there you have it. 2 different options to make a comfort food that we all really love, but in a really healthy way. So thank you for watching, and remember to plan, do, enjoy.